Shara and David Guest here of Guest Farms, and just wanted to show you what we've been doing today. We butchered about 15 chickens, and so after our butchering, we have to bag them, put them in the fridge, let them set for a couple days, but we just wanted to kind of show you that process. So as soon as we have them butchered, as soon as we butcher them, we put them in a freezer, we put them in a cooler with ice, and we let that set for about 3 hours. And then we bring them into the house, and then we have to bag them up. And our process is really good, and basically what we do is we have our freezer bags, and we set them up in the sink so that any water that's still in the cavity will drain out. And they've been sort of sitting for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and bag this one up. I just put its neck in first, and then kind of push its backside down into the bottom like that, so it sits nice and snug in the bottom of the bag. Kind of push its legs down a little bit. Then we have our water that's been on the stove. It's not boiling, it's about 160, 175 degrees. And we don't want it boiling, but you want it kind of steaming and hot, because what's going to happen, you put it in there, and that's just going to, all the air is going to be forced out of the top, and it's going to shrink wrap your chicken, which will keep them much better in the freezer for you. Okay, so I'll just show you what that's going to look like. I've got some zip ties over here ready to go. So I just set that down into the water. Some people like to put a straw in the middle and then just pull the straw out, but I just kind of stick it down there, make sure you don't burn your hands, and then pull that out. There might be a little bit of air still in it, but you can easily force that out as you just kind of push the legs down a little bit, push any extra air that's in there, and then I just give it a little twist like this, a little more twist, and then take my zip tie and just tie that around nice and tight so that no air can get in. And that's going to be really good for the freezer, because that way you've got all the air out of it. It's not going to have any ice buildup on the inside, which will eventually cause freezer burn. Okay, so I've got all these already done. As soon as these are all bagged, we're all going to put them in the refrigerator outside. We have a fridge in the garage. We're going to put them out there for about 48 hours, and that helps with the rigor mortis. The rigor mortis doesn't set in, and that will keep your birds more tender after they go into the freezer and you thaw them. They're more like fresh than a stiff frozen bird that you might otherwise get if you don't give them that resting time in the fridge. So after you bag them, 48 hours in the fridge, and then they're ready to go into the freezer, and you're good to go. And we've got some, we label it of course with the date so that we know when we bagged them, when we butchered them, so that we can eat the older birds first and keep these for a little bit later. And we love our chickens, and we'll be eating these we fry them up, I put them in the crock pot, I make them for stews, I make soup out of them, I make chicken salad out of them. And some of our older chickens, it might be a little bit tough. Sometimes we just cook them and label them separate and cook them for our dogs as well, or feed them back to our other chickens. So we try to have nothing go to waste on our farm, which makes us very much more productive, and it saves lots of money, and it keeps us healthy. So that is our bagging and butchering and freezing video for today, and I hope to see you next time.